Hello everyone, welcome back to another action figure review. Today I have the Marvel Legends Captain America Brave New World Red Hulk. I'm the Plastic Paladin, and let's get into the review. So, I have been looking forward to getting this figure ever since I've seen a couple of people review it. It looks like it moves really well, it looks really well sized. My only thing is that I personally do not care for the character of Red Hulk. I used all of my GameStop discounts on this figure because Red Hulk is just not my thing. However, I do have some big plans for this figure. I do believe I am simply going to paint him green and do a little work on the pants, make them a little ripped, paint them purple, and he's just going to be my main shelf Hulk, because I do not particularly care for the character of Red Hulk. The Hulk is a hard figure to find, a main Hulk that's not like an MCU Hulk, and I think this looks pretty good, even though it is reusing the MCU Hulk face sculpt, I believe. It certainly doesn't look like Harrison Ford from what I can tell. I think it's just the Mark Ruffalo sculpt. But, yeah. I do believe I am going to just turn this into my main Hulk, but let's go ahead and get it out of the package and review it as is, because while I don't particularly care for this character, and I personally don't think he's going to stick around that long in the movies, if he even makes it through this movie, but I am excited for this figure, and I'm excited to see the movie, so yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at him. I'm going to free him from the box, and I'll be right back. Alright, so here he is straight out of the box, and right away I can tell you that the posing potential for this thing is absolutely insane. I don't have another Hulk figure to compare it to, but I have been messing around with some of the larger DC multiverse figures, or mega figures, and those things have very, very limited articulation, so just having this thing in my hands for a few minutes, I'm already quite impressed with the range of motion on this thing. So as you can see, he comes with an extra closed mouth head sculpt and two fist hands. I'm sure those fist hands are going to come in very handy. As for the head sculpt, I think I'm going to be leaving the angry head on it, because that's kind of his whole thing, right? Is that he's red, a little angrier. Although I know that this Hulk is actually one that can control his rage a bit more than Bruce Banner can, so I get why they have a sort of neutral, serious head on there as well. It's very cool that it comes with an extra head, I'll say that. Especially for the price point, it needed to come with something, good lord. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and look at the articulation. Just a big ball joint in the neck there. Very easy to pop off and change out that head, but not a whole lot of articulation. Only goes about that far up. Down pretty good, and then a little bit of side to side tilt and all the way around. And we have a diaphragm cut which goes pretty far back, not as far forward as I would like, but just enough so that he can look all the way down. Arms, we've got these pinless double jointed elbows, and then we've got about full 90 degrees on the shoulder, all the way around. Elbows come up about that much before the plastic gets in the way. And then we have a cut here at the waist, so he can go all the way around there. Quite a bit of movement in the waist, Uh, goes out about that far, and then not very far back, but then we have these double jointed knees, which are very stiff, but he can get that leg almost all the way back, so that's nice. And then at the ankle we have these huge pin rocker things, and you get a lot of pivot with those, so you can get quite a good squat on this guy. There's actually quite a bit of uh, forward and back on these wrist articulations as well. They're just very stiff, but they can go up and down just a little bit, as well as the rotation. So with that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and get him into some poses and really see what he can do. Just trying to get him into some classic Hulk poses here. Those ankles are really helping a lot. That is the biggest issue with some other larger figures from other lines, is that without any kind of ankle articulation, they just cannot hold themselves up. And he seems to do a very good job. And this is about as far as I can get him to lean back without him falling backwards. And yeah, if you manipulate those ankle joints, you really can get him to go quite low. Although it doesn't look quite right, he is pretty stable for the most part. Just gotta find the right center of gravity. Yeah, like I said, he poses very well. The only thing I think that could improve this a little bit would be some butterfly joints for the shoulders. Hopefully the next mainline Hulk they release has some butterfly joints, because that would make for a little bit better posing. Just having his arms being so big, they weigh a lot, and having them be able to move backwards and forwards at the shoulder would help a lot with the center of gravity and just putting that in a good spot. But other than that, I'm really impressed with the way that this thing poses. And let's go ahead and get into some comparisons. Like I said, I don't have another Hulk figure to compare it to, but I am going to compare him to some other Marvel Legends and a couple of the other big figures that I have for DC. Alright, so here he is next to a couple of my taller Marvel Legends figures, being the Sentry and Magneto. Apparently Sentry is going to be somewhere in this movie. I hope he looks something like this. He is my favorite Marvel superhero, so I'm hoping they do him justice. But I think he towers over the both of them quite well. I've heard that he's a little bit bigger compared to some of the Hulks that have been released in the past, which is a little bit concerning, because I almost feel like even he is not big enough compared to some of these characters. But let's get into some more comparisons. Now, here's arguably the most important comparison for this figure. Here he is with the new Captain America, Sam Wilson, also from the Brave New World film. Now these figures I think scale way better together. He looks accurately sized compared to the sort of MCU human scale that they're using. I guess their comic book figures run a little bit larger in terms of the, big muscly guys, it seems. But these two look great together. Can't wait to see him throw down in the film. Maybe I will even withhold painting Red Hulk green until after I watch the movie. Maybe, just maybe, I'll like this character enough to leave him as is. I would still probably have to buy another one and paint him green though, because I really need a Hulk for my shelf. And here he is next to the DC Multiverse Kryptonite Doomsday from McFarlane Toys. Now, this is very interesting. I thought he would actually be quite a bit smaller than some of the Mega figures from McFarlane, but he actually seems to be pretty comparable to the size and bulk of a Mega figure from a 7-inch line. He's just a little bit shorter, but I actually think he holds up pretty well. He looks like he could fight this guy. I'm not sure if he'd win, but he looks like he could fight him. And here he is next to my Hush Batman. So he is only slightly larger than your average McFarlane figure, but you know, it's actually pretty good. The scales don't always mesh well between the 6 and the 7-inch, but this is the one case I think it's actually not that unbelievable to see these two together. Yeah, I think it's actually fairly good in terms of scale. Definitely with, you know, the other Marvel Legends, but even with some of the outside lines, he's just that big. And just for fun, to show off the scale a little bit, here he is next to potentially the smallest figure on my shelf, which is Ghost Spider. So that's about all I have to say or to show for this figure. I think it looks pretty good. I think the paint apps are, you know, a little boring. It's very flat. I wish the pants had a little bit more to them. I wish they had made a new face sculpt to look a little bit more like Harrison Ford, but it's Marvel Legends. What are you gonna do? Looks like a great figure, potentially a great custom Hulk if I decide to paint it, but even if I don't, I'm actually kind of happy. I think it's growing on me. I do sort of have this Dark Avengers sort of makeshift thing going on my Marvel shelf, and he's actually not entirely out of place. So it remains to be seen whether I will customize him, but I had a fun time reviewing him and getting him in hand. I'm looking forward to the movie. Let me know what you guys think of this figure. Do you have it? What do you think about it? Do you have a previous Marvel Legends Hulk? And is there one that I should get? And are you excited for the movie? And if you're seeing this after the movie, tell me what you thought about it. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. I'm having a lot of fun making these videos. I hope they end up doing well at some point, but until then, thank you guys for sticking around. I will see you in the next one. I should have another review coming very soon. Stay tuned. I've been the Plastic Paladin, and have a good one.